devam kamsacharuramardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadgurum. Thou son of Vasudeva, the supreme bliss of thy mother Devaki, the destroyer of the forces of Kamsa and Chanura. To thee, O Krishna, as Guru and God, we salute. We start today a new chapter, the 10th chapter, Divine Manifestations, Vibhuti Yoga. As mentioned previously, the 18 chapters are divided into 3 parts. The first part deals, according to the commentators, of course, with the question of you. And from the 7th till the 12th chapter deals with that. And the rest of the Bhagavad Gita chapters describe the relationship between you and that, in thou art that. As you have seen, this is the great sayings, one of the great sayings found in the Vedas. So you are that. So we've dealt with the you first, and now we are dealing with the that. And from the 7th chapter onwards, various qualities of the reality designated as that are mentioned. First, in order for us to meditate on them, because this is a conditioned reality. And as we meditate on it, we will slowly come to that unconditioned state. So meditation will lead to the knowledge. Meditation on the conditioned reality will lead us to the knowledge of the unconditioned reality. Suppose I say, you are the Pacific Ocean. Oh, I can't be that. Yeah, exactly. It's completely contradictory. But as you keep on thinking and thinking and thinking, there are some commonalities. My body is full of water. Yeah, that also is water, kind of, yeah. So this is how the commentator is explaining how we can remove the contradictory elements in the you and that, so that we can find the common grounds. And spoiler alert, the common ground is consciousness. Thus, he's saying, he has already mentioned that, I am the taste and water. I am the sacrifice. I am the old sacrifices. I am everything. He keeps on saying, I. But you must understand, the Lord, when he speaks about himself or herself, it is that identification with the reality. So the first verse is, the blessed Lord said, O mighty armed one, listen over again to my supreme utterances, which I, wishing for your welfare, shall speak to you, you who take delight in it. Now, there are people who, like Sri Ramakrishna says, there are some people who come here and then They are so distracted, and I tell them, we take a stroll around the garden and see the temples, and yeah, kind of this. And they do that. They're not interested in the words of God. One devotee came and said, let's go and see the moon face of my grandchild. So Sri Ramakrishna said, get out, you fool. You don't want to see the moon face of God. You want to see the moon face. There will always be people who have a kind of a limit to hearing the glories and the kind of descriptions of God. Oh, it's enough. Let's take it easy now. Let's relax. So, the quality of Arjuna's mind is also being displayed here. That is, he takes delight in it. Swami Turiyananda, who for many years was here in San Francisco, they said, don't you ever feel tired talking day and night about God? So, saying, yeah, but this is what I have lived all my life, and this is what is real. So I take delight in it. This is my best relaxation. So that's why the Lord says, Mahabhavo. Maha is great. Bhavo is mighty armed. He was heroic. He was a warrior. And that's another thing that we need to say. You need to be heroic in order to know the reality. Because you've got to take up and throw off a lot of your burdens, things that you had held to your breast for a long time. You won't let go. Have to be torn up away from you, discarded. So that is spiritual heroism, spiritual strength. So Mahabhava, that's he's kind of describing, okay, this is what Arjuna is. Saying, listen over again, bhuya eva, once again. Shrinu means listen to this. My paramam vacha, my supreme utterance. And I must have spoken a lot of things which are kind of also mundane. In the whole of the Mahabharata, there's a lot of things which are spoken. But now, to draw Arjuna's attention here, this is my supreme utterance. To zero on the thing. And then he says, why, Vakshami, I will speak because I want your welfare. This is what he says. Hitakamaya, yeah, the Lord also wants our welfare. Okay, that at least, thank God. We thought we are cut away from our moorings and we are just floating away. In the life of Sri Ramakrishna, you see him taking all the trouble going to people and meeting them, conversing with them. Why? Say just one thing. Oh, he's a devotee. He takes the name of God. Let me go and meet him. That was what used to draw Sri Ramakrishna to the devotees. Oh, and even when people used to say, why do you need to go there? No, it's all right. He could see the essential good qualities of a person. So, O mighty armed one, listen over again to my excellent or supreme utterance, which I, wishing your welfare, shall speak to you, you who take delight in it. So this is again? Yeah. Why again? Because the nature of the reality called God is inscrutable. When you look out at the world, it's very clear there's nothing divine in it. A poet might say, oh, yeah, it's beautiful, it's this, it's that, and so sublime, so beautiful. Yeah, take your magnifying glass or take a kind of microscope and see now and there. what exactly is there. You might find a lot of microplastics everywhere. That's not so poetic and not so philosophical about it. Nothing about it. So once you get down to the surface, so you find where is this business of God. People have been, are they deluded? Are we kind of taken for a ride by our culture and our religion for thousands of years? We are made to believe in this kind of thing. So that's the reason why he's saying, because the nature of the reality is inscrutable to the mind that's externalized and the mind which is restless. When the mind is calm, we can get a glimpse of the bottom of the lake. That's the whole idea. So again, bhuya, again, I'm repeating this to you. And this is one of the fundamental, you can say, principles in Vedanta. Repetition. Avritti asakrit upadeshat. In the Brahma Sutra it said, you must repeat the instructions. The instructions are to be repeated. Why? Because that is what has been prescribed. You know, Sri Ramakrishna, his attendant, he was nephew, Hriday. He used to give various illustrations in his teachings. So his nephew one day saying, we've heard this many times, you know. It's become stale. Saying, you rascal, it's mine. If I want, I'll say it 100 times. What is that to you? So here we have, if you keep on repeating yourself, now you become a bore. People run away from you. But when you're going to speak about the nature of the reality, it has to be repeated over and over and over again. This is one of the reasons why when you're given a mantra, you keep on repeating. Why? Why you can't one repetition do? There is a school which says that if you repeat God's name 2 times, you don't have faith in the repetition at all. Once is enough. But like I said, it helps you kind of plunge deeper and deeper. That's why the Lord is saying, Bhuya eva, listen over again to my supreme knowledge. The second verse is, neither the gods nor the great sages know my lordliness or my glory. Neither the gods nor the great sages know my glory. For in all respects, I am the source of all the gods and the great sages. Now these gods and these great sages, they were, especially the great sages, they were considered to be omniscient. Even the gods are not considered to be omniscient until unless they have the knowledge of Brahman. These sages were of that class. They excelled even the gods in their purity and their holiness and their knowledge. So that's why he's including them. The Sanskrit is Name vidu suragana prabhavam cha maharshaya ahamadirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha. There's a small kind of story. When the Creator decided, that will to create spontaneously arose in his mind. The mind was pure, and just before that will arose, God was, as I say, meditating. And out of that, the first 4 young boys, as they say, were created. The 4 young boys, Kumaras, childlike, and the Lord commanded, their father commanded, go and start your creation. So they looked at him, what? Creation? Why? What's wrong with everything is fine here? So their father, he got annoyed. And because of that annoyance, they say, the mind was whipped out in a kind of in that annoyance. And then there came these sages, 7 sages, they're called the great sages. So these were the mind-born, you can say, offspring of God. It's a story, mythological story. And then what happens was, say, so the father commanded, go and start creation. Oh yeah, we'll do that. And they kept on, because they were born from a mind which was, you can say, restless, or you can say, annoyed. Because the creation starts. So after many, many eons, these first 4 boys who were created, when the mind was sattvic, they had gone and started meditating. And they said, they came to their father, what is this thing about creation? You heard about this? You mentioned creation. They were in a state where they were not experiencing creation. So the father smiled, oh. Then he touches their chest, and then their minds began vibrating. And as it began vibrating, and they're saying, hey, look at these stars and galaxies and moons and suns, and oh, how wonderful, how wonderful. And then after they had a glimpse of creation, they seen the whole sequence, the whole evolution in a flash. Then the father touches their chest again, and all the creation ceased to be for them. So when the mind is in a vibratory state, you will see this. When the mind is not vibrating, it is perfectly still, you transcend creation. Okay? So much for us. So that's why God is even the creator of all the gods and all the sages. So here he says, I am the source of the gods and the great sages. Aham adirhi devanam maharshi. And all through human history, you'll find every culture has come up with their own, you can say, number of gods. Whether the gods have created you or you have created the gods. Carl Sagan, in one of his great episodes, is saying, saying, we are the dreams of the gods, or the gods are the dreams of the humans. So whether they came first or we came first doesn't matter. But this, the source, is even higher than these various gods, Indra, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So neither the gods, Sura Gana is a collection of gods, Sura. Sages, the word sages itself it's translated as sages, it's called Rishi. Rishi is one who knows the past, present, future of creation. Another meaning of the word is mantra drashta, one who's a seer of mantras. Now, what is a mantra? There are these mantras which hold knowledge and which is you can see the source of this whole creation. Where do these mantras exist then? In the mind of God. These are the guys who read the mind of God. And then say, this is what I have seen. And that became those Vedic, you can say, verses. So these sages were the, as they say, rediscoverers. You don't discover, you don't invent something. That knowledge is pre-existing. It's in the mind of God. So these are the guys who, as I say, they have seen that truth in the form of mantras which are in the mind of God. Now, where is the mind of God within that guy's brain? Say, no, sorry. It's that great cosmic mind. So, Swami Vivekananda in fact says, one day, all of us will have to come to this state and be these sages, rishis. Yes, amazing. But amongst all these, they were the greater ones, like, amazing. Some of these stories are just amazing. So even they who had excelled everything in creation, by knowing creation itself, knowing the mind of God, omniscient, saying, God is saying, I am the source of even them. Sarvashaha, I am the source of the gods and the great sages. Neither the gods nor the great sages know my glories. And Sri Ramakrishna also says, why do I need to know how much grog is there in the grog shop? If I can get drunk with one bottle of wine. I have come to the mango grove to eat mangoes. Why should I busy myself with all this counting of twigs and all these things? Sorry. That one was waiting for a long time. So I've come to the mango grove to eat mango, so I'll busy myself. So Swami Vivekananda also said, I leave all the leaf counting to the leaf counters. So we are going to go down straight to. So this is what the Lord is kind of saying. The extent God is infinite, the reality. I'm using the word God because people are used to it. In fact, Swami Vivekananda was asked one day, why do you use the word God? Saying that word holds the hopes and the prayers of millions and millions of souls for thousands and thousands of years. Use that old word, but remove of all those superstitions associated with that word. And then you get the real meaning of it. So, God is, as they say, unknowable. Unknowable to the mind that's externalized, impure. But God is the most knowable of all knowable entities. In fact, like we were mentioning yesterday, you can never know the external world perfectly. It's just impossible. There's always something, there's always a thing. There was a Greek philosopher, I forget the name. So he's saying, what is the edge of the universe? I go to the edge of the universe, I take my staff and extend it there. That is the extent, that's the edge of the universe. Then I go to that edge of the universe and I again extend my staff. Now that is the edge of the universe. You will never get the edge of the universe. This was, imagine this was thought thousands and thousands of years ago. And here we are trying to limit everything. Oh my God, this is limited, that is limited. No. Because in each and every object, there are two, you can say, perceptions that come. We are satisfied with only one perception, one side of the perception. There is infinity hidden in finite things, if I can use those words like that. So go to that finite thing, search and search and search, and you will find that thing melting away in the infinite. So everything is contradictory here. The limitedness and the unlimitedness in the same thing. So which do you want? Take it. So this nature itself will take you to that. But then this part of the nature which is limited will not, because you are focusing on the details, the small things. And if you can see the infinity in that object, it's like, kind of a common, you can say, example is when you see a drop of water, or a raindrop or whatever, do you see the ocean in it? No. Well, there will come a time when you'll be able to see the ocean in that drop of water. Then your knowledge has become complete. So the third verse is, he who knows me, the birthless, the beginningless, and the great Lord of the worlds, he, the undeluded one amongst mortals, becomes completely free from all sins. Oh my God. I'll read the Sanskrit. Yo mam ajamanadim cha veti lokamaheshwaram asammuda samarteshu sarva papai pramuchyate. So, it's always knowledge that frees you. So, what frees you? Knowledge. Knowledge of what? One who knows that reality as birthless, beginningless. The birthless, the beginningless, and as the great, you can say, Lord of all the worlds. He says, that's me. One who is not deluded, one is saying amongst mortals. The mortals are generally deluded. What deludes? What's the source of the delusion? The ego. So here you have those who have conquered their own egos. They become undeluded. The word kind of is uncommon, but then is one who is beyond delusion. Becomes completely free from all sins. Sins, it's not, the real meaning of sin is, like Swami Vivekananda says, Vedanta does not recognize sin. It recognizes error. Something, you had a misperception or wrong perception and you did something, that is called, you can say, sin and error. So not in the usual terms of, oh my God, the sinner, that person is a sinner. No, that person is doomed, sorry. That person can be doomed, can never be doomed. They're saying even God cannot destroy that person because that person is a part of God. So this is what the Lord says. He, one who knows me, the birthless, the beginningless, and the great Lord of the worlds. So Mam is saying, Yo Mam Ajam. Jan is Janma, Ajam is birthless. Anadim. So Adi is the beginning, Anadi is the beginningless. Loka Maheshwara, the Lord of all, the great Lord of all the worlds. That person who is beyond all delusion amongst mortals. becomes completely free from all sins. Okay. Sins, errors, mistakes. So we are not reading the reality rightly. That is the error. Once we can correct the error, who does that? You got to do it yourself. Keep on fine-tuning and fine-tuning. Keep on fine-tuning till you kind of get. So when you send a telescope in space, you need to fine-tune it. You just say, okay, do your stuff. Right? You cannot. So it has to be fine-tuned. And as you keep on fine-tuning it, you are less prone to errors. You are coming down to that reality. So the whole process is from error, coming down, from the fringes, you can say, coming down to the center. And as you zero in, there, oh, here it is. And where is it? Well, it's inside. So the moment we have a tendency to kind of project the whole idea outside. But we believe in the external world. There's no doubt about this. It's all here. There's no doubt at all. But we experience that external world inside. It's always like that. Okay. So this is where you keep on fine-tuning your perception. And from the error, you're slowly, slowly, slowly coming down to the truth. So where was the truth? It was there all the time there. It's not that you are recreating or creating new this truth. It is there, but you weren't looking at it. Now you can see. That's the reason why I say, Martyeshu amongst mortals. So this person, the moment the person perceives the truth, that person becomes immortal. So we are mortal, we can become immortal through knowledge. And what is this mortality? Well, this constant ignorance, living in ignorance. So that is death. In Vedanta, they're saying, it's also mentioned in one of the books also. Pramadavai mrityu, that is, a wrong perception itself is called death. In Sanat Sujatiya, there's a kind of pramada, that is, oh my God, that is it. So the moment you are not seeing things correctly, you are mortal. You are subject to all the forces, delusive forces. And the moment you step away from that, you correct your perception, you become immortal. So that is when you will recognize that reality as birthless, beginningless, and the Lord of all the worlds. Om, peace, 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 in the name of the Lord, Hari.